Lucas and Sarah had been friends since childhood. They grew up together in a small neighborhood, sharing laughter, secrets, and the ups and downs of life. From playing in the park to long conversations in front of Sarah's house, they became inseparable. Lucas was always there for her during difficult times, like when she faced her parents' divorce, and Sarah always supported Lucas in his achievements and frustrations. For Lucas, friendship was a foundation, a safe harbor in a world that sometimes felt chaotic. However, as time passed, Lucas began to realize that his feelings for Sarah were turning into something deeper. One summer afternoon, they were sitting on the porch, talking about the future. Sarah was discussing her career aspirations and her desire to travel the world, while Lucas listened with a smile, admiring her determination. But at that moment, something changed within him. He looked at her, the sun reflecting in her hair, and felt his heart race. What he had once considered friendship now felt like an intense and overwhelming connection. After months of battling his feelings, Lucas decided it was time to open up and confess what he truly felt. With his heart pounding, he prepared for the conversation. That night, while walking under the stars, Lucas decided he could no longer hide the truth. He stopped, took a deep breath, and looked into Sarah's eyes. "Sarah, I need to tell you something," he began, his voice trembling. I like you, more than just as a friend. I've always liked you." The silence that followed felt endless, and Lucas began to feel the weight of his confession. What he had feared had come true, he had put everything at risk. Finally, Sarah spoke. "Lucas, you're amazing, and I really appreciate you. But I don't feel the same way." Her words hit Lucas like a bomb. He tried to process the rejection as his mind spun. "I don't want to lose you as a friend," she continued, visibly concerned. "Our friendship means a lot to me." Lucas forced a smile, but felt that sadness was swallowing him whole. What he had imagined as a bold step toward happiness now seemed like a disaster. From that moment on, everything changed. Lucas tried to maintain his composure, but the truth was that their friendship had become a burden. The pain of rejection followed him like a shadow, and the interactions that used to be light-hearted were now laden with tension. He wondered if he could ever go back to what they had before. For weeks, he fought against his feelings, struggling to act normally, but things were different. Every shared laugh felt like a reminder of what he could not have. Meanwhile, Sarah, fully aware of Lucas's feelings, began to take advantage of the situation. With a smile on her face, she frequently called on him to help with tasks she could easily handle on her own, like moving furniture or troubleshooting computer problems. She knew Lucas was always willing to meet her needs, and he felt good about being able to do so. Sarah, even if she didn't want to admit it, enjoyed knowing that she had someone so devoted to her, even if it meant exploiting his vulnerabilities. With each favor Lucas did, she felt more powerful, as if her position in his life was unshakable. As time went on, Lucas began to realize that their friendship was transforming into something deeply unequal. Sarah seemed to relish in his love for her, asking for favors while implying that there might still be something more if he was willing to wait. He felt confused and frustrated, caught between loyalty to a friend he still loved and the need to protect himself. Each day became an internal struggle. He didn't want to distance himself, but he couldn't ignore the feeling that he was being used. One night, at a gathering, the situation reached its peak. Sarah, in a stunning dress, was surrounded by other friends, all admiring her beauty. Lucas, however, felt desolate. He saw Sarah flirting with a classmate, while simultaneously throwing him a mischievous smile, as if trying to provoke him. This scene struck him like a blade, and he realized that the friendship they had was not genuine. It was an illusion fueled by unrequited love and manipulation. He began to wonder if Sarah had ever truly valued what they had or if she was simply using his devotion to satisfy her own emotional needs. After the party, Lucas decided he needed to confront Sarah. They met in the park where they used to play as children. The air was thick with tension, and Lucas didn't know how to start. Finally, he said, "Sarah, we need to talk. I feel like you're taking advantage of me. I can't keep doing this." Her expression transformed into surprise but quickly became defensive. "What do you mean? I'm just your friend." "No, you're not," he replied, his voice filled with pain. "You know I have deeper feelings, and yet you keep using me. I'm here to support you, but this isn't fair." Lucas was determined to expose the truth, even if it meant risking the friendship he still valued. Sarah fell silent, but her eyes showed that she understood. She didn't want to lose Lucas, but she also wasn't willing to change her behavior. The conversation deepened, revealing the insecurities and fears both of them felt. Sarah admitted that she liked Lucas's attention, but she refused to consider his feelings. "You've always been there for me, Lucas. I can't change that now." Lucas realized that the dynamic was rooted in something much deeper than he had imagined. He remembered how many times he had set aside his own plans and desires to be by her side, and that began to weigh on him. As the night stretched on, they discussed the boundaries of friendship and what it truly meant to support someone. Lucas began to realize that the generosity of his heart was being manipulated. He was not just a friend, he was an emotional crutch, a shoulder for Sarah to lean on, and that made him sad. He felt his worth was being reduced to mere servitude, a prop upon which she relied. The truth was that love and friendship were complicated, and sometimes the line between the two is thin and painful. At the end of that night, Lucas said goodbye to Sarah with a heavy heart. He knew that no matter how much he wanted to preserve their friendship, there were scars that would take time to heal. What had begun as a pure friendship had turned into an emotional battlefield. The truth about the friend zone had been revealed. Sometimes unrequited love can be the greatest barrier to friendship, and manipulation can destroy what was once pure. With that, Lucas decided to distance himself, aware that the friendship they once had would never be the same. He needed to protect himself, and as difficult as it was time to prioritize his own happiness. Meanwhile, Sarah continued her life, oblivious to the depth of the loss she had caused. To her, Lucas was still a constant, a support in a chaotic world, but the disconnect that now existed between them was palpable. As days turned into weeks, Lucas realized that while the separation was painful, it was necessary. He began to focus on himself, on his own dreams and goals. Over time, he understood that true friendship must be based on mutual respect and understanding, not manipulation and advantage. Sarah, for her part, found herself struggling to understand why Lucas had distanced himself. Sometimes she felt a twinge of guilt, but most of the time, she was too preoccupied with her own ambitions and new friendships. Both went their separate ways, carrying with them the lessons of a friendship that could have been sincere but ended up marred by deception and manipulation. What could have been a healthy relationship transformed into a painful reminder that not all connections are meant to last. And so, while Lucas worked to heal his heart and seek new opportunities, Sarah continued her journey, often unaware of the depth of the loss she had caused, and the two became strangers in their own lives. Share your thoughts on the comments section and don't forget to follow for more videos like this one.